Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Jitterbug TV, where you're going to learn the art of 3-ball juggling. But not just that, there's going to be so much more silliness. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Jitterbug Jackson, where we're going to learn how to make 3 juggling balls. And if I can do this, anybody can, because this really isn't my specialised subject. So, what do we need? Let's have a look. We've got like a little plastic bag. We're using a food bag we got in the shop. I've seen people online using nappy bags, but yeah, something like this. It's a little bit too big, so we're going to be cutting it anyway with our scissors. And this is why you need to have an adult with you. Scissors. Danger. We're going to need balloons. Balloons are easy enough to find. You can see with the ones that I made earlier, we had some fancy balloons. So try and get the fanciest ones that you like, all different colours. You're going to need rice, or what we ended up getting was arborio risotto rice, very fancy, but that's because there was no rice left in the supermarket. But yeah, rice or lentils, something like that will do great. And yeah, just a nice, safe, clean area to work in. And yeah, of course, make sure you get permission before you do this and make a massive mess. Okay, so I've cut the top of the bag, and you don't want it too small. You want to have plenty of room to play with. I've put my rice into this mug. You'll have to work out the kind of measurement you want yourself. Like, with your hand, you know what sort of size you want. I mean, I think I want a little drop more than that, so I'm going to pop a little bit more in for me. And you're making basically a little ball shape with all that rice, and twisting your bag nice and tight because you don't want that to fall out. And then you just wrap the excess around. Like so, and you've got yourself kind of a little ball shape. And this is where the balloons come in. Now, your balloons are always going to be, they're always slightly different in how they're made. You know, you want a nice stretchy balloon. I'm going to just cut the top off it, like so. And then you have a little fiddle, it's a little bit fiddly. This is the actual fiddly moment of the whole process. You know, open it up and get a bit of a stretch of that. And this is where the trickiest part comes, where you're going to try and get your balloon around your rice bag. So, pop it in. And you're using your fingers. You know, you might want to get your mums or dads to help with this bit, or you know, someone who's not quite as fiddly and all thumbs as me. But you'll see what I'm doing is I'm just kind of squeezing all that little rice bag in to the balloon. And believe it or not, once that happens, you have a bit of a squeeze, you've kind of almost got yourself your first juggling ball. Now that would have been slightly too small for me, but it's okay, it's perfect for someone with smaller hands. And then you get your second balloon. Now I'm going to go with green, I think, because this is the great thing, you get to choose your own colour. I'm going to go with green. And again, chop off the top of it. Give it a little stretchy wetchy. Okay, and then I'm going over that hole and I'm doing the same thing 4. And my balloons are really quite tight. So tight they've actually broken. So don't panic. We just get ourselves another one. This is going really well. Get yourself another one. If the camera's shaking, it's because Philippa is laughing at me. Oh, look at that. I've done really well there. Look at that. Look at that. That is arts and crafts. Genius. Give it a good stretch. Look at that. I don't like that wee bit that's sticking out. So I'm chopping that out. And look, that is a perfect juggling ball.
This is the lockdown lamentations, sending out some good vibrations. You know it just takes time and patience, and then we won't all be contagious.
For anybody watching in the future, Jitterbug TV was in fact filmed during isolation in the great lockdown of 2020, and we thought maybe you'd like to meet some of the viewers at home talking about their experience of being in isolation.
Hi, my name is Malcolm, and during lockdown and quarantine I've been missing a lot of things, especially going out and playing basketball. We were meant to have a couple of matches lined up to start the season. We built the basketball team, we got the court renovated in the park, but it's getting put to waste now because we can't play there, which is pretty bad, but there's positive sides to it as well. We got a new dog named Picasso, so now we have Pablo and Picasso, 2 French bulldogs. They're really cute. I've been doing more art projects, staying productive as much as I can. It's good for the mental health, you know. I try to get out and do a little walk every now and again, and then keep productive with art and writing and stuff. And I'm still having youth clubs over the phone, which is great. And I also ordered a skateboard, and I'm trying to learn how to skate, so that's good. I'm trying my best to stay positive during these times, so yeah, that's it.
So, juggling 3 balls. Where do we begin? Well, the easiest place is to start with 1. So, the first thing you've got to get used to is just actually throwing this little ball hand to hand, and how to manipulate it, and how to make it easy for you to catch. So, the best thing is always to keep your eye on the ball. So when you throw it, you go up and down. And up and down, nice little throws, don't throw it too high, you're going to lose control. I know that lots of you have already dropped. That's okay, it's normal, you drop, you just pick it up again. Bend your knees, you don't need any accidents happening, just throw, you drop it, oh, you pick it up, nice and safe. You've got to look after yourself. It is a good idea to warm up before you do things if you don't want any injuries. Yes, mums and dads, that's for you. So, you've got your 1 ball, you're throwing it, you're catching it. You can maybe try something different to make it a little bit harder. Clap and catch it. There we go. Another little clap and a catch. Clap, catch, clap, catch. Oh, everything's going lovely. Now, one thing I should have said is that you need to be careful of where you're attempting to throw these balls around. You've got to be really careful you don't break anything lovely in your house, lovely ornaments, etc, etc. So that's why it's probably best that you do this juggling out in the yard, or maybe out in your garden if you have one, or out onto the street, making sure that you keep a safe social distance. So, back to the clapping. Juggling. 4 or 5 claps that was. The one thing you can do is send to Dublin City Council. You'll have an address at the end of this. Send us your little video of you juggling 1 ball. You've got to make things even more difficult with 1 ball. This one is balanced upon my head. I'm walking forwards and backwards. I'm jumping. I can try and see if I can make the ball drop from my head and catch it behind my back. No, that didn't work. But the whole point of this is, of course, practice. She'll make us perfect. It's on my head. I turn around, I drop, and I catch it behind my back. Off your knee, bounce it off your knee, off your left knee, behind your back, throw it behind your back, behind your left back, behind my right back, behind my left back. There we go. Maybe you could try to balance it on your hand and flick it up. You could try to catch it. Behind your neck. Well, first time.
Cooking upon those shelves, books by Yates of space and greats, mosquitoes and elves. What you got cooking? Can I have a look in your library of love?
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Library of Love. And in this section we're going to be looking at some of the books that I'm reading during this isolation period and some of the books that I could recommend to you. And there's lots of books on that library shelves, and there's lots of books that are probably more suitable for adults, but I do have some that are suitable for kids, and that's because we make lots of shows for kids, so I always like to try and keep up with what they're reading and what new books there is. And this is a book that you might have heard in that song Library of Love. I mentioned Yeats. And this is actually a collection of Yeats's poems for children that they think kids might get into. And yeah, I think it's nice. There's lovely artwork. There's, lovely images, beautiful images to go with the wonderful words and the poetry of Yeats. And I suppose I'm going to give you a little sample. This might be one certainly that some of the parents will know. But it's a famous poem, The Song of Wandering Angus. So, I went out to the hazel wood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame, but something rustled on the floor, and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she is gone, and kiss her lips, and take her hands, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. By now, with all that practice, you should be getting really good at one ball juggling. And that's the reason we practice, because the more and more you can control this one ball, it gives you a chance to learn 2 balls, or 3 balls, or 4 balls, or 5 balls, or however many balls you want to learn to juggle. Because it's just like anything, like a musical instrument, or learning to play football. You practice, and you get better. So, you've got 1 ball, you've got all your claps, you've got your different tricks. It's time to learn 2 balls. So, 2 balls. Now, a lot of people are going to get their 2 balls and think, oh, this is easy, I can do 2 balls, and I'll just go like this. That's all very well and good, but it's going to be very difficult to do 3 in that pattern, because 3 in that pattern looks a bit like this. It's really fast and very difficult. Some people, they take 2 balls. A lot of your mums will have done this from way back in the 1930s or whatever, and they'll bounce it off the gable wall. But no, we're going to try and learn a pattern, a juggling pattern called the cascade. So in order to do that properly, this is the pattern with 2 balls. You go throw, throw, catch, catch, throw, throw, catch, catch. And that looks really easy. I'm going to let you all have a go at that. Taking 2 balls, throw, throw, catch, catch, throw, throw, catch, catch. Have a go. Yeah, everyone's dropping. Yeah, you've dropped, sir. You need to try that again. Madam, please do it properly. Throw, throw, catch, catch. You're not at your gable wall now. No, we've moved on. 2 balls, look at me. Throw, throw, catch, catch. So in this ball, I start with the right hand because I'm more comfortable that way. From the right ball, when it gets to the top of its little journey and is about to drop, that's when I throw the left one. I also throw it up high, or triangles, like little mountain ranges, like the mountains of Mourne. So watch, you go throw, throw, catch, catch, throw, throw, catch, catch. Start with the right hand, right, left, and the left hand, left, boom. And again, just like with one ball, I don't want to drop anyone. I just want to keep my pattern nice and clean. Both balls reaching the top of their journey at roughly the same height and width, so it's easy to catch. A little rhyme to help you with that. Watch this. You go criss-cross applesauce. Criss-cross applesauce. That's quite a popular one. A lot of people teach with that little rhyme. I prefer criss-cross brown sauce. So I say criss-cross brown sauce. Criss-cross brown sauce. And you keep doing that until you feel completely comfortable. So it's really, really, really steady, calm. You're never dropping. You're just clear. You can try it a bit higher, but not too high. Always so that you can control 2 balls in that pattern. Now you should have been practicing 2 balls for quite some time and are absolutely confident that you can drop them safely and pick them up, but also do that pattern effortlessly with very little drops at all. So you get 2 balls, and you're thinking, well, that pattern, I'm a bit bored with it. Well, it's always about learning how to manipulate these balls as well as you can. So you can invent your own little tricks to do with 2 balls. I'm going to show you some now. Now you've got your normal, we'll call that the cascade 2 ball pattern. When you're here, you can try, you can do your balance. You can do your balance again. So I'm balancing a ball on my head. I am walking across the living room and I'm throwing the other ball. So look, I'm doing 2 balls, one on my head, one hand to hand. Now, you've also got your behind the backs, like that. So you're just making lovely. What I wanted to show you there was just how easy it is for your balls to burst if you drop them a lot. Because look, the rice is coming out there. It's about to spill all over our lovely rug. I've made a mess. So at this point, I'd like to cut to commercial break that will show you that you must always keep your house tidy. Juggling. So back to 2 balls, a couple of tricks with 2 balls. You've got behind your back, I think I mentioned that one before. You've got 2 in one hand. With that you get 2 in one hand. Little circles. Always get your left hand going as well, because we want to make sure that with all of our juggling, that both hands, the right and the left, are working together and as best as you can, working at the same level. So that's 2 balls. You've done your head bounce, yeah, we did behind the back trick, you could do one off your knee, back into little patterns. Any little patterns that you can put together that are little tricks that go after each other, back and forward, they're all good, they all help you. Basically, have as much fun as you can, because every little bit of practice, every bit of fun, every bit of silliness, all adds to you learning what we're going to do, which is 3 ball juggling.
Information is not knowledge, knowledge is not wisdom, wisdom is not truth, truth is not beauty, beauty is not love, love is not music, music is the best.
Antiques! Probably the greatest first word of any song. Yes, this is Music is the Best, and it's a section where we're going to look at music. Probably the greatest art form of them all, in my opinion. But anyway, let me just turn that down. Today, I'm going to be recommending this album. This is Prefab Sprout, and their classic album from the 1980s. I think it was 84 or 85. This is Steve McQueen, largely written by probably one of the greatest songwriters of them all. That's Paddy McAloon. And I realise that some of you kids are probably going, I'm not interested, well, yeah, maybe you're not, but one day, let me tell you, this is an album you need to listen to. Mums and dads, grannies, granddads, aunties, uncles out there, big brothers, big sisters, get your ears around this beautiful, beautiful album. Produced by Thomas Dolby. The production is perfect. The songs are pretty perfect. Paddy McAloon on fine lyrical form and singing form, guitar form as ever. And while you're listening to this and you listen to some classics, it's like, When Love, I can't read because of the light in my eyes, but you've got Fire and Young, you've got Bonnie Appetite, 3 first songs that kick this album off before you even get to When Love Breaks Down. And, while you're listening to Prefab Sprout and listening to this album, do yourself a favour and listen to everything else that Paddy McAloon ever recorded. So yeah, music is the best. Something slightly different. We're going to do a trick with a hat. So very simple trick, very classic, little spin onto the head. Now that, I'm using a hat that is kind of specialised, made for juggling. You could try this trick though with fedora, your granddad's fedora perhaps. Or you could use your mum's lovely hat for going out to dinners. There we go, that's lovely. Yeah, that works. But the trick, although simple, is very effective. It just requires 2 fingers, the pointy fingers, the nose pickers. Yes, you get your hat like so. It's in front of you like so, upside down. This pointy finger, nose picker, goes under the hat like so, and these 3 fingers across. This nose picker under this rim of the hat, and look, 3 fingers. Now that looks very simple, but believe it or not, a lot of people find that quite tricky. You just make a little under, rest your 3 fingers, same, rest your fingers. Then you've got your hat, like so, in front of you, and you just spin it around the fingers and onto the head. There we go. There's your little fingers, there's your nose picker. And spin and on to your head like so. Now, you want to try, it's best with hats to not even look at the hat whilst you're spinning. You're kind of just mind my own business. Oh yeah, boom, onto your head. Another little trick with a hat. Now look, imagine, same as when we were learning to juggle balls, you kind of get used to the hat, get used to how it moves. Spin, 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 and onto the head spin. Now with that, what I was doing was just keeping my eye on the hat, like when you're going to head a ball when you're playing football. Keep your eye and in. So, it's just one spin, you don't want to flick it too hard. Just one spin, head in, and onto your head. Now that is 2 little tricks you can try with whatever hat you find in your house. And now I believe it is time for Danger House. about you, but I'm absolutely shattered from all that hard work. You should have made your own juggling balls. You can see we've made quite a few here. You've learned how to do one and manipulate two, and you're heading very fast towards juggling 3. But in order to learn how to do 3, you've got to come back and tune in for the next episode of Jitterbug TV.